Hi, Joanne Peters, partner at the law firm Isaac Brandt Ledman and Teeter in Columbus, Ohio. Give us a call at 614-221-2121 if you need some legal help. I'm going to talk to you briefly today, and particularly I'm talking to employers here, about the importance of having a sexual harassment policy. I have handled a large number of defense cases for employers where plaintiffs have alleged sexual harassment. And what you need to know as an employer is that you can escape liability under the law if in fact you had a policy, a sexual harassment policy in place, and if you followed it. Now, that's a very big generalization. I'd have to know the nitty-gritty details of any particular case as to whether or not the policy may allow you as an employer to escape liability. But as a general rule, you need to have this policy in place so that you potentially could escape any liability for a sexual harassment claim made by an employee. And what do you need to have in that policy? Well, there have been a couple things that I've encountered in my litigation of sexual harassment cases that I think that are important and I want to point out. First of all, is in your policy, you're of course going to tell your employees to whom they could report their sexual harassment. What's very important here is that you give the employee many different places or persons to report the harassment to. The problem I have encountered in litigation is a policy that says report the harassment to your boss, and then it says nothing further. Well, what if the boss is the harasser? That's not an effective policy because it doesn't give the employee someone other than the harasser to report to. So you need to list several people, and I could help guide you looking at your corporate structure as to who it might make sense to have on the list of people to whom the employee could report the harassment. The other thing that's very important to put in there is what you're going to do once it's reported. And generally, you're going to reserve the right to investigate in whatever means you believe appropriate. Obviously, the bigger the claims of harassment, then the more investigation that may be needed. But you particularly want to have that in your policy as well, so employees know what you are going to do once an employee makes a complaint. You then want to also include what you're going to do once you're done investigating or done reviewing the complaint. And you want to let employees know that should harassment be found to have occurred, that you are going to take appropriate disciplinary action up to and including termination. That way, if you ever have an employee file a suit against you, you can point to the policy, you can show that you investigated, and then you can tell the court that you took appropriate corrective measures. Now, in terms of an investigation, depending on how big the claims of harassment are, or how many people might be involved saying that employees that said that they've been harassed, you may want to have someone from outside your company come in and investigate. And that is something that I can do for you. I have, as I said, a wealth of experience with sexual harassment cases, and in investigating them once they get into the litigation stage. It's something that I can do well at and would be happy to assist you with should you as an employer have that need. So if you do, give me a call. My phone number is 614-221-2121.